So I'll start off by, of course, greetings, welcome. It's Monday here, it's Tuesday elsewhere where Julia is down under. So that's so great. We can be in two different, not just time zones, two different days. And yeah, that's a beautiful thing. The silver lining of this pandemic, unending, sort of unknown, life-changing kind of experience we've all gone through, going through. And it happens to be in the US and across the world. I think people know February 14th as Valentine's Day. But I'm also celebrating something known as Quirky Alone Day. What is Quirky Alone Day? Well, there's an author who coined this term, Sasha Kagan, or Kajan. International Quirky Alone Day, February 14th, is a do-it-yourself celebration of romance, friendship, independent spirit. It's a kind of, it's a celebration of all kinds of love. So romantic, platonic, familial, and yes, self-love. So that's kind of the theme of this practice is a strength in self-love. So if you're single, International Quirky Alone Day is a call to arms to celebrate your life exactly as it is right now in this moment with all the gifts and love in your life. If you're partnered, if you have a couple, uh, International Quirky Alone Day. I know it's a funny word. It's supposed to be comic. It's supposed to be humorous. Yeah, quirky alone is a vital reminder to value yourself and develop your individuality, even when in a couple. You can celebrate Quirky Alone, Quirky Together Day with your partner too, celebrating you have the kind of relationship that allows to be fully you. Okay, so it's kind of more special than your stereotypical Valentine's Day celebration. But you can celebrate Valentine's Day, Quirky Alone Day, or just Monday or Tuesday, just another day in the day of the year in 2022. Okay. And I'm not one usually to, for better or worse, to talk so much about chakras in practice. And I just say better or worse because that's just not my knowledge base, but I do respect it. And today I will share that we will be opening the heart chakra. Chakra, if you know, is Sanskrit word for the literal translation is wheel. If you're familiar with chakrasana, it's a backdrop. There's two kinds of different chakrasanas. You go in a wheel, yeah. But it's also energy points, different energy points that you align in the body. So we're working with or making relationship with the heart chakra today. So a healthy alignment of the heart chakra, you will feel surrounded by love, compassion, and joy connected to the world around you. You will feel open to all experiences in life. It will feel like challenges, especially in relationships, flow through you and are resolved with ease. And open heart chakra allows us to see all of the beauty and love around us and truly connect to ourselves, our loved ones, and the natural world. This chakra also helps direct love back to ourselves to truly be able to love and accept ourselves and our bodies. Okay, so that's the more philosophical sort of aspect of heart opening. Now, physical benefits, just FYI, we're getting into back bends. So, of course, we're going to strengthen back muscles, but also in the legs, as one of my teachers would say, great senior teachers would say, back bends start in your legs, right? So we'll get into, of course, back muscles, strengthen chest, stretch chest muscles, open up shoulders, but also through the legs too. It's all connected. Release tension through neck and shoulders and increase mobility and flexibility in spine. Now, emotional benefits you can think of if you have a relationship with back bends. There's different times to do different back bends, yeah? And I know there's been times of grief and maybe transition and loss and sorrow where I feel maybe going forward, inward, forward bends is more appropriate. But also in times of, yeah, other situations, where I feel like back bends have really been an antidote to the down energy. So reducing stress and anxiety, providing relief from depression, decreasing feelings of loneliness, boost feelings of self-confidence. That's for sure. I definitely feel a boost of self-confidence after back bends, and increasing openness to love. Yeah, so that'll be our theme we'll play with. Now, does anyone have anything they want to share with me regards physical body? Anything going on that you think I should know about that we can address in the practice? Emotional body or anything else? Philosophical body? Anything? It's open for you to chat in, chime in. If you have anything going on, you let me know. Okay? Yes, Jasmine? Left bad knee. Okay. Do you know which poses it kind of gets aggravated? Is it knee, we call this a flexion, or is it a little bit more rotation, or a little bit of both? Both? Okay. So, yeah, it just gets aggravated. Yeah, I understand. Okay, got it. Okay. No, thank you. I appreciate you sharing that. And yeah, I mean, I'll move through our sequence and go through it, and I'll address knee stuff and give as best of modifications that seem appropriate just based on this very small conversation. I would have to assess more looking at your practice, yeah. But take care of yourself. You're not a beginner, raw beginner practitioner. I don't think anyone in the room is. So modify according to your needs, your abilities, and feel free to take a detour off of my sequence. It's a creative, playful sequence, but if you want to do something more familiar, not so novel, make it interesting for yourself, and then join back in on the sequence, all good. Okay? For example, we'll begin in child's pose just in a moment here. If that doesn't work for you, you can begin in kind of more similar to child's pose would be something like this, but without putting weight load on the knees. Yeah. So you can think creatively, maybe flipping the form of the asanas, the shapes, and seeing which one works for you. I'm going to put everyone on mute now, okay? Because I think there might be a little echo coming in. No worries. So there we go. I'm still seeing Jasmine as somehow she's highlighted. Just let me know if I'm not. Yes, here we go. Okay, I hope I'm spotlit for everyone to see for the recording, especially for those that can't attend live. Yeah, and I'll keep a lookout for. Okay, mostly better. Okay, thank you, Barb. Okay, yeah, regarding ankle stuff, sure. Yeah, so we'll do some mobility for foot and ankle. Of course, some lunging positions, downward dog. So if that doesn't work, you can think of other ways you can support yourself. I don't know what the limit is with your ankle right now, but if you want to unmute yourself and yeah, I always like open format. I have some ideas I've planned for everybody, but you can always unmute yourself and chime in and say, hey, this isn't working for me, and we can just turn it into a workshop thing. Yeah, we'll work it through a workshop kind of mode, okay? So feel free to chime in. Yeah, great. All right. So let us begin. Yeah. So we'll begin. So I have a couple props. If you'd like to have, I've got a blanket and two blocks. If you have, great. If you don't, all good. Maybe you can get a towel that works for padding. We'll begin in a Adho Mukha Virasana, that's downward facing hero's pose or child's pose. So I'm sitting on the blanket with majority of entire of my shins, ankles a little bit off, knees apart, feet together. Then reaching with the arms forward. So first just getting length through the trunk, through the spine. Then bending the arms, crossing the arms, resting the forehead, okay, onto the backs of the hands. Just use this position as a way to, of course, bring passive hip flexion, knee flexion, but also as a way to pacify the fluctuations of the mind, yeah? The vrittis, the movements in the head. Take a big inhale through your nose, soft and smooth. Cleansing exhale out to let go from the activities of the outer world, the news and noise of the outer world, and just present your mind consciousness into the body. Then you can either switch the crossing of the arm, opposite form in front, or be on your elbows, kind of like almost like you were going into Shirshasana, right? So move the elbows forward so you lengthen the back of the armpit. And then the head could either come down or hover. I'm going to keep it hovering to not block out the sound, but you can have your head down. And then bring the thumb fingers towards the back of your neck, shoulders, and then away, and then towards you. And then have the hands just pointing up and open up the palms like a book so the pinky edge of the hand presses in. And then join the palms and open up the pinky edge of the hand. So just like a folding leaf or something you can think, or maybe a fluttering thing you can imagine, palm opening one way, palm opening the other way. And then release the arms, walk your hands back. We'll come back to this position, but just come forward into what's called usually Chaturangasana, forward limb position, tabletop position. Stretch one leg back, so you're extending the knee, and rock a little bit back and forth, or just putting a little weight on the wrist, through the arms, shoulders, a little on the toes. Then bend the leg, take the other leg back. Okay, so just opening up behind the calf, a little movement for the foot, a little movement for the wrist. And then come back to our child's pose. So knees apart, buttocks back. If you need to sit on some blocks, feel free to sit like that, yeah? So now we're going to circle through the arms. So left hand, my left hand is down. I raise my right arm up. I look at the hand and I circle it behind me. And as I lower it down, okay, I let it turn sort of internally a little bit. Then take it forward. You can just bring it across too. If the shoulder hurts taking it up, just bring it forward. Let's all just try that again. So instead of going up, go out, circle, and then rotate that arm bone in. So internal rotation as the arm goes back, the chest and head turn. Okay, let's do that one more time. So option to take the arm up if that feels comfortable, up, around, back, down. So through the circle, there's a rotation at the arm bone at the shoulder. Opposite side. So let's take the arm just kind of parallel to the ground. Take it around behind you. Should feel pretty easy. Depends. That's relative, yeah. And continue to breathe here. Raise the arm a little higher through that circle. When it goes behind you, arm is internally rotated behind you. Take the arm up, around, and this time going up, follow your gaze to the hand if you can. Arm behind, circle around, forward and down. Okay, we'll come back to that one more time. Come forward to tabletop, turn your hands a little bit out. Okay, and now straighten both legs to a plank. Push the ground away, make your arms long, spread the tops of the shoulders, and shoulders away from the ears. Then look to your toes. Try to lift your pubic bone, pelvis up to your face so you feel a little reflexive core engagement there. Then look forward. Look to the side of the room, anywhere. Circle your neck and head around. Look toward your toes. Circle the head other way. Forward and knees down. So one more time. So if that's a lot on your knees, yeah? So Jasmine, if that's a lot for child's pose, you can do these movements in tabletop. Hopefully that's less on the knees. If you can do child's pose, we're gonna bend that opposite arm. So when you take the arm back, okay, you're bending that arm. See if you can get the opposite arm that's in front, and then straighten the arm as you come forward, cross the hand over that hand. So I'm going with the right hand, palm is up, right arm goes up. When it goes behind, I bend the left elbow. I take the right arm behind, turning the chest and head. Then lift, straighten that supported arm. So one position is stable, one arm, hand. The other one is mobile, moving around. Okay. And then switch. So first just try this bending, straightening that elbow, yeah? So when the arm goes back around, bend that elbow, lower down, take the arm behind, and the arm goes up straight now. So it just produces a different quality in the spine, really. It's the chest that it kind of affects. Of course, the shoulder, arm are working, but that spiraling action is further in sort of nuanced experience through that bending and straightening. Okay. All right. Then tuck your toes under, lift your knees and thighs up, or extend your hips, come on up. So we'll just give a little break to that flexion. Hands to the hips, move your bum forward, look down, try to lift the front of your pubic bone up towards your face. Hopefully you're feeling a little contraction in your hamstring buttocks region. Move your tailbone forward, buttocks down, and lengthen front of the thighs by lifting the pubic bone up. Even lift your chest up, chin up. Take your arms out, take your arms up, bend the arms, hold your forearms or elbows. And notice as you took the arms up, did the buttocks go back? So let that be okay. If that happens, we're not making sort of a wrong position. We're just checking to see how body couples with other movements. Move the buttocks forward, scoop the front of the pelvis up, then try to take your arm bones back. Lift your chin up, look up if you can. Switch the cross of the arms, tug the elbows up, lengthen the buttocks down as you reach with the arms up. Reach the arms up, forward, down. Okay. Tabletop position. Let's do a couple cat and cow. So we're opening through the spine. So cat is the rounded back. Push the ground away, flex the spine, tuck your chin. And then pull the hands towards the knees towards the hands, arch your back, okay, extending the spine. Press the hands away from the knees away from the hands, round, tuck the tailbone in, chin in, dome up the spine. And then hands towards the knees, exposing the chest, heart, sternum forward, and then coming back. Now we're going to make it a little bit more interesting by segmentally, okay, articulate the spine. What does that mean? So if you want to watch for a moment, you can. If you want to do with me, all good. We'll do it twice. So instead of going sort of global movement, I'm going to take a rounded position, stay as rounded as I can in the entire spine, but I'm going to start from the bottom, tailbone, tuck, take the tailbone out without arching in my upper back. I take the tailbone out, further, arching just in my lower back, then mid back, then shoulder squeeze, then it's like a wave through the spine segmentally, piece by piece. And once I'm here, okay, if you're doing with me, all good. Yeah, maybe you learned that way better. I'll stay locked in this extended position and start to tuck tailbone under, staying arched in my upper back. Easier said than done. In fact, it's one of the hardest, I feel, mobility sort of experiences that I, as much as I can, whenever I can, expose myself through, because it's so hard to distinguish which part of, especially if you've never done it before, then it just have fun with it, yeah? But just see how much you can segmentally move. Let's all do it together. If you already did it once, all good. If you want to change the hand position, you want to be on fist, you want to turn the hands out, feel free to change the hand position. Press the ground away, tuck the chin, tuck your tailbone, round your back. Go for as much spinal flexion as you can, okay? So it's natural for the heart to close and open. And it can't just stay open, and it closes and opens. So right now we're closing it in, then we'll expose it out, okay? So keep the chin tucked in, shoulder spread, and then tilt at your pelvis, tailbone out slowly. Stay rounded in your upper back. Arch just in your lower back. You might feel this in your abdominals, yeah? Ribs coming out, chest coming out, shoulders squeezing, then finally untuck the chin, chin away from chest, shoulders away from ears. Make it interesting by locking your gaze. Wherever you're looking, lock your gaze there, lock your position. And again, from the tailbone, tuck in slowly. Slow rounding of the bum under. Slow, steady speed. Tuck in, ribs in, bottom ribs in, chest coming in, heart coming in. Spreading the shoulders, tucking the chin and head, coming down. Excellent. Now, come back to this tall kneeling position. We'll let you do our dog pose in a moment here. Let's just get into the shoulders. Take the arms out. Okay. I'll go like this. Externally rotate the arms. Internally rotate the arms. So make a fist, squeeze there. So there's some tension, irradiation through the arms. Turn out, turn in, turn out, turn in. Then arms beside you and circle through the shoulders. So arms go up, shoulders go forward, down. Squeeze those fists so the arms are not bending right now. Switch direction. Just oiling up, lubing up the scapula. Then try it forward, okay? And notice if you're doing cat and cow, which nothing wrong with that. Like eventually later, maybe we'll do a dance party, yeah? This is a dancing movement. You can do that, yeah? But right now, see if you can have a little bit more isolated movement. So it's just scapula, shoulder blades moving, not lumbar or pelvis. So move your pelvis forward, draw the ribs in, lock that position out, and then circle through the shoulders, squeeze through the fists, shoulders up, forward, down, back, then switch. Okay, a couple rounds. If you want to make it more interesting, change the angle of the arms. It can go higher, it can go lower, it can go wider, and hold that angle and circularize the scapula or scapulae, plural, shoulder blades in these circles. Excellent. Interlock your fingers. Okay, greet yourself here like partners. They hold hands, partner with yourself, and do wrist mobility like this. Switch. So wrist circles. And then come forward. Let's come into Adho Mukha Swastikasana. So hands a little wider than shoulder width. Turn the hands out so you can have a little external rotation of the arms. Straighten through the knees. Come into plank pose. And then lift the hips up and back. Let's come into downward facing dog. You can take the feet as wide or as narrow as you like. Wide meaning as wide as the mat. You could go even wider. I generally start my first dog pose of practice as wide as the mat. Okay, so there's some width behind the legs. As much as I'm asking for length behind the legs, I'm also going for broadness behind the legs. Press the palms down, straighten through your arms, arms long. Move your chest back towards the thighs. Lift your heels up, buttocks up. And if you can lift your kneecaps up into the quadricep, allow for full extension of the knees here. Take a big breath in, big breath out. All right, then come forward. Okay. So if this kneeling position is tiring your knees out, so we're doing it quite a bit, yeah. You can also do the next position in Upavistha, okay, seated, or some kind of virasana like this. We're gonna do a circle with the back. In fact, let's all just do it like this, because if this is too much on your knees and shins, this one's fun because it allows you to see that when you round the back, does the buttocks go back? So right now we want thoracic spine, upper back rotation. So option one here, option two, you can do it in Upavistha, okay? You can go like this, okay? Or in tall kneeling position, which is I think more challenging, but also fun, because you're trying to keep the buttocks from going back. Because you could make a big circle like this, okay? That's true, yeah? But right now, just to target the upper back thoracic spine, okay? So try kneeling, give yourself a hug. So this kind of looks like a little heart shape anyway, does it not? Yeah? So rounding your upper back, so flexion of spine, then go to your right side, drop your right shoulder down, lateral flexion, then go for extension, point the elbows slightly up if you like, and then to the left side, draw the elbows down, round down, okay, and then switch direction, go the other way from side flexion to back extension, side flexion, and we'll do it with the opposite arm in front. I'm going to come to a tall kneeling position. Okay, so shins down, buttocks in. In fact, I'll face you here. Make the opposite arm in front, the heart shape or alligator mouth, whatever you want to think of. Okay. Then rounding upper back down. Think of your pubic bone lifting up, okay, sternum, chest coming down. Then go to your left side, okay, side bend, back bend, and keep the chin tucked in for now. You could move the head back, but it just makes it even more challenging because the weight of the head. And then switch direction. So just mobilizing the upper back, massaging out all those muscles and movements of the upper back spine that may not get exposed in these circular motions. Back to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Swastikasana. Arms and legs straight. Then bend the knees quite a bit. Walk your hands back. Think you're doing like Utkatasana. So bend the knees, move the hips back, buttocks up, chest towards the thighs. Look forward like you're going to jump forward. Okay. Then straighten the legs, heels down. Try to lift your toes up. Straighten through the knees, lifting your toes up to your shins. Then toes down, heels up, heels way up. Bend the knees, look forward. Kind of like an Utkatasana. Quite deep hip flexion here. And then straighten the legs, heels down, lift your toes up. Okay. Now bend the knees, step or jump, top of the mat. Okay. Uttanasana, forward fold. Your choice, how wide you want to go. For me, I'm just now in my first forward bend, legs opening. I just go wide to start out with. It's just part of my practice, part of my training. You could go feet together, no worries. All good. Whatever feels comfortable for you to straighten through the knees, chest, and head down. Then hands to your hips. Okay. Bend your knees, lower the hips down. Take your arms behind you, swing with the arms, sweep with the arms up, straighten the legs, come up. Hook your thumb fingers when you come up, lift through the chest up. Unhook, rehook, opposite thumb finger. Release the hands, arms down. All right, so let me just show something really quick, and then you can decide how you're going to do this, okay? So without any props, it's gonna look like this, then I'll show with the props, yeah? So I'm gonna do a one-handed dog pose, take the opposite hand to opposite calf or ankle. That knee's gonna bend, okay? Then I'm gonna straighten that leg, turn the chest, the opposite leg bends, okay? So we're going to move a little bit like this, okay? Now, if that's a lot, okay, you can try with blocks and shorten the distance. So it's more like a Uttanasana. You can do like this, yeah? So it's not so much on the arm and shoulder, but you still get this rotation, okay? Maybe you don't even need the block, okay? You can do an Uttanasana, yeah? Or you can do with blocks and in dog pose, somewhere in between, okay? So I'm gonna have my right hand either on the ground or on the block, okay? Opposite hand threads through, catch the outer calf. If you can reach outer ankle, go for it. Okay? Then bend the opposite leg, turn your chest and head towards the straight leg. And if it feels good to let that straight leg hip sway out, great, or cut it in and back. I kind of prefer that. Then straighten that leg, back leg, and then bend the back leg. Okay, you can turn your head as you're doing this. So turning towards the straight leg, turning towards the straight leg behind you, around, and then come forward, take a pause, then go to the other side. So I have my left hand on the block, right hand threads, catching the outer calf. If you can reach outer ankle, go for it. Bend the right knee, turn your chest. I'm also bending the arm that's holding the leg, okay? Turning the chest, head up towards the ceiling. Then straighten the back leg, look towards that leg, and then bend the leg, look away from the leg. Straighten, look towards that leg, bend, turn away. If you want to try to bend your top arm a little bit, go for it. Turn your chest. Deep Parivrita feeling, yeah? And then release. And let's come back to, if you can use blocks for dog pose, try it out, okay? So downward facing dog with the blocks now. Come forward, bend the knees slowly, slowly, hovering down on the ground. Hovering, I know there's multiple languages in our group here. So hovering means when I'm kind of floating, lightly landing down. Hovering is just kind of hovering off the ground, okay? All right, so now let's do our shoulder movements again. So again, check to see that it's not cat and cow. So draw those ribs in, navel to the spine, tuck the tailbone slightly in, have a little bias towards the lower back being rounded. Then circle the shoulders, okay, like we did in our kneeling position, but now the hands are fixed in space. And you're creating those scapular rotations. Then switch direction of shoulder circles. Okay? If that's too much load on you, you can also do it in tall kneeling again. You can repeat what we did before. Then turn your hands out, so external rotation of the hands and arms, then try it. Okay? See if it feels a little interesting. If you want to make it more interesting, lock your gaze somewhere in front of the mat or on the floor so your head is minimally, if not at all, moving. It's really just true scapular movement, shoulder blade movement. All right, then hands forward, lift the knees, hover, pause, and then up and back, downward dog. Now we're going to come down prone position. So if you want to move the blanket a little bit forward, all good. So it's for your pelvis, bottom abdomen there. So come forward, bend the knees slowly, knees down, bend the arms, bring yourself down onto the ground. You can move the blocks away for a few moments. Tops of the feet, so top of the foot side, press down, hands underneath the shoulder or slightly forward, push, curl your upper back, exposing the heart chakra, sternum forward. If you can get the elbows to move down, go for it. Shoulders away from the earth. Give the bum, your buttocks, a little squeeze here, straight through the knees. Then come down. I feel like I could move my blanket up more, so more full pubic bone, low abdomen, it's touching. Okay. Doing again, so hands can go forward or back, your choice. Press down, a little baby bhujangasana, the cobra pose, but kind of a baby version of it. Okay. The arms aren't fully straight. And release. Okay. Now adding a little twist. Okay. Twist meaning, so I have my hands in a wide chaturanga position. So not narrow, wide. Okay. I'm going to lift my left leg up, bend the knee, turn and reach the foot back, turn the head away from the leg I'm turning, and then come back, legs behind, opposite leg bends, lift the knee, turning from the leg, waist, chest, and head. Again, this time if you can tap the foot behind you, you tap the foot, look up towards the ceiling a little bit, and then come back. So adding twisting and back bends, one of my favorite ways to do back bends, adding that spiraling feeling. Now, cross your hands, rest your head, take a moment to pause, bend the knees, and windshield wiper the legs just side to side. So you just move on your pelvis, hips side to side like this. Okay, and then come back. Now a little bit more of a chest pec stretch, okay? So my right arm is going out to the side, left hand pushes, and I'm going to turn on my side. It's a deeper back bend because this arm is straight instead of bent, getting a deep pectoral chest stretch. And that back foot, I have the heel lifted. You could have the heel down. How does that feel? Lift the heel up or go between the two. Make it a little dancing movement. And then come back, okay, opposite hand. So the hand that's going to support me to turn is bent. The arm that's turning towards is straight. So I bend my right knee, take a turn, turn the chest. And that back heel is up. Try to press it down. If it's down, try to lift it up. And then do both. Heel up, heel down, turn chest and head. Look wherever feels good for your neck. Make it interesting. And then come back. Okay, we could do that again, okay, but we'll just continue on. All right, move the blocks back, push yourself. So when we push up, keep your pelvis, pubic bone moving down. So it's not the tailbone that comes up first. Press the tailbone towards the pubic bone, press your hands down, lift yourself up, come into this tabletop, adjust your blocks. If you want to watch for a moment, you can. Otherwise, you can follow along with me. We're going to go from downward dog, okay, to knee bent, upward dog. Okay, so it's not full upward dog yet. Knees bent, arching the back. Then when I come up, I'm going to move myself back to this kind of child's pose, but not quite child's pose. So knees are hovering. Then I'm going to come forward. Okay, knees tap, pelvis forward, chest up, shoulders down. Then the third round, if you want to join me now, you can. Okay, feel free. I go forward and I go into upward dog. Upward dog. Downward dog, but with the knees bent, going towards a Utkatasana or child's pose like position. And then launch yourself up like a spinal wave going forward. Okay? Shoulders backing up. Keep those shoulder circles helping you to get the shoulders in, chest lifted. Okay? Going back, bend the knees. Hopefully you tried the first stage. I know I kind of just moved on from the demo, but hopefully you tried this knees down, pelvis. So do this little thrust with me. You move your pelvis, buttocks in, squeeze the bum, lift the chest, circle those shoulders back, down, keep them down, and then lift through the chest. If you want to be on the top side of the feet, maybe that feels better on your back. And tuck the toes, push the ground away, lift the knees. So as if you're going towards dog pose, but when you arrive there, bend the knees and move your chest towards the thighs. So you're sitting low to the ground. Then launching yourself forward. Knees can be down if that felt good, or knees off the ground. Legs straight, arms straight, arch your upper back. Expose the sternum up towards the chin, chin away from the chest. And press, lift, come back, downward dog. All right, let's take a little pause from our hands, okay? So we're gonna take the pause from that, okay? Because my sequencing is not very, but sometimes non-linear, and we're working with spirals and circular movements, so it kind of makes sense. So we're gonna sit in a position, we're gonna get into the hips and legs a little bit, okay? So I'm gonna scoot back a little bit. So being able to move on your buttock bone, tailbone, so as long as it doesn't bother, have some padding there. Hands are behind. Make it an interesting movement where you're just kind of reaching for something without actually finding anything. So hands go back. One leg is externally rotated, other leg is internally rotated. Okay. Now let's add the arms. Okay, so the arms are already there, but what I mean is if you're doing exactly like me, I'm mirroring you. So you're not exactly like me. Okay? So I'm going to take my left hand behind, left thigh externally rotated, right leg internally rotated. Then I take my right arm up. Here we go with the circles. Bring that arm around, palm up. Reach the back of the hand towards the ground. And then lift up. Take the arm behind you. When it goes back, lift the knees and thighs up. Okay. So back leg is internally rotated, front leg's externally rotated. Take the top arm up, rotate that arm externally, reach with the back of the arm forward, back side of the hand, fingernails reaching the ground without actually touching. Let's do that again. Arm up, circle the arm, hand, lift the knees, thighs, circling around, up, reach, turn, keep turning the chest, and then turn your arm externally. So the back of the hand, fingernails reaching towards the ground. If you want to make it more interesting, that arm behind you, you can try bending the elbow. How does that feel? Towards the ground. And then straightening the arm back, behind, rotate around. So the arm that's behind, okay, you can try bending the arm. If you reach with that opposite arm, I run out of space here with the wall. And push, lift up, rotate around. Good. Okay. Now a little bit for our ankles, because somebody mentioned something about ankles. Then we'll get back into our dog pose and some lunging movements. Take one of your blocks, okay, and just circle the ankle around. Okay. Block underneath the calf like this. It can go flat too, whatever feels good, or wide, whatever feels comfortable. And just let the whole leg move with the ankle and foot. So notice your thigh, knee, shin, foot are moving, and then switch direction. Now pause, hold your thigh, knee, or shin. Any which way you can limit movement above the ankle. So lock out that movement and then circle your foot without shin, knee, or thigh moving. Probably a lot lesser of a circle, lesser diameter of the circle, yeah? Make it humbling that it's just ankle mobility we're going for. Switch direction, not shin, not knee, thigh, doing the movement for the ankle. Okay, so just to give it some love independently. Good job. And then just point the toes forward, stretch, plantar flexion of the foot, and then pull the toes back, heels away, dorsiflexion, point, flex, And let's switch. So opposite leg can be in any position, out to the side, figure four shape, whatever, like a Janu Shirshasana, doesn't really matter. Okay. And then just let the whole leg, even the head sometimes, your eyes, big circle of the foot and ankle. So it's nice to go between, global movements and local movements. So right now we're doing global, the entire leg is moving, then pause. So come a little bit forward, hold the thigh, knee, or shin, however you want to. Sometimes I like to just hold the shin like this. So lock out, block out motion above the ankle, and then circle your foot around. Okay. Notice when the shin wants to turn, okay, limit that. Eventually omit that and maximize ankle foot movement. Go the other direction when you're ready. Very nice to do if you do yoga, standing poses, but outside of that, running, walking, dancing, even just sitting, getting love to that ankle in 360 rotation without above the ankle getting movement. Okay? Then point the toes, stretch through the toenails, deep plantar flexion, pull the toes, heel away, dorsiflexion. Point, push, pull, extend. All right, back to our dog pose. I'm going to continue to use the blocks, okay? If that's not your jam, all good. You can be hands on the ground, all good. All right, let's come into Adho Mukha Swastikasana. Feet, knees can come a little bit narrower now. Straighten out through the arms, move your chest back. Move your thighs back as you lift your hips up. Heels can be off the ground, heels can be down. See what gives you more sense of straightening the legs. You might find it a little bit more accessible if you have the heels lifted to straighten through the knees. Now bring the feet all the way close together. Okay. Raise your right leg up, Ekapada, one-legged, Adho Mukha Swastikasana. Now notice if the bottom heel lifts up, can the top leg lift up a little higher? Then get the bottom heel down, a little bit more of a calf stretch, the top leg lifting up, probably not as high. Then lift the bottom heel up, top leg up, bend the knee, look forward, step the right foot outside of the blocks there. Okay. Lower your back knee down. Okay. Left hand stays where it is, right arm goes up. Circle the arm behind you, turn the arm in, internal. Okay. Then take the arm over, turn it out external, and reach towards the left arm, beyond the left arm. Let's do it again. Take the arm up, behind, circle. Good. And take the arm up, circle around, reach beyond that left hand. Reach with the back of the arm. And then hand down, straighten your back leg. Okay, swing the right leg back, plank. Come back, downward dog. Feet together. Arms stay straight. Raise your straight left leg up. Lift the bottom leg heel up. Get the top leg way up. And try to get the bottom leg heel down. Lift the top leg a little higher. Lift the bottom leg heel up. Top leg up. Big breath in. Exhale. Bend the knee. Swing the foot forward outside the blocks. Lower the back knee down. Push off with the right hand. So remember those shoulder circles. Depress shoulder away from the ear. Left arm goes up, behind. Rotate that arm in. Turn the chest. And then circle the arm. Spin the arm externally. Keep going beyond this right hand towards the ground. And then lift up. Go back. Go up. Go around. If you want to bend that sporting arm a little bit, you can bend as long as that doesn't bother your shoulder. You might get more of a chest turning there. Okay? And then come around, hand to the block, straighten your back leg, swing the left foot around, plank, come back, downward dog. And let's continue with that. So however you want to bring your right foot forward and outside. So take the right leg up. You can turn the foot and leg out. Let the pelvis turn here. Then turn the foot down, bend the knee, step the foot forward, outside, lower the back knee down, take your right hand to your hip, turn your chest, try to keep this hip low, okay, as you begin to straighten your back leg. Take your top arm up and reach overhead. Paschimottanasana, Paschimottanasana, with a wide step of the foot. Then lower the back knee down. Okay. Now, some of you may not be able to catch the back foot. So if you have a strap nearby, okay, you could figure out, strap through the foot and catch here. Because I want you to be able to let this front leg come out. I'm going to come off the block here, okay, you can see better. Ideally, okay, you're catching the foot behind you or the strap. Okay, I'm going to hold the foot now and letting that front leg, you see I'm on the outer edge of the foot. Okay. Now be mindful here, bending this arm, okay, and then straightening the arm. So when I bend, I turn down to the ground, come down, and when I straighten, I roll open the chest. I'm on the outer edge of the foot, ankle, turning the chest head up. Then I bend, I close in, round, flex, go down, maybe elbow can touch the ground, then push, lift, turn. Very good. Okay, and then release. If you're using the strap, let go. Find your way back to Adho Mukha Swastikasana. Use the blocks if they're helpful, and separate from the blocks if it's getting in the way. Left leg comes up. Ekapada. Exhale. Bend the knee. Step the foot outside. Maybe I'll turn my mat a little bit this way. Maybe easier to see. Okay. So back knee down, left hand to hip, revolve, turn the chest. Then keeping that front hip low, straighten your back leg. Press with the right hand down, shoulder away from ear. Top arm up, overhead. Paschimottanasana, Paschimottanasana, a modified wide version here. Top hand down, back knee down. So however you can. Sometimes it's nice to bend, reach for the foot, catch, or use the belt strap, figure out a way to get the belt, towel, whatever you need around the foot, or you don't catch it. You just bend the leg. It's a nice hamstring strengthener. Okay? So pull on the foot, let the front leg foot turn out, knee thigh out, turn the chest, heart up to the ceiling. Then round down, option to bend that bottom arm and that front arm, chest and head down. Then push, lift up, kick that foot into the hand into the foot. Extend, turn, and then coming down. So throughout all the movements, not all, most of them, do you find that quality of back bending happening? Yeah, find your way to downward facing dog. Okay? So it doesn't have to be a specific pose. Okay? Back bending is an interesting term because when we bend the spine in any way, we're bending our back, technically speaking. Yeah, but generally thought of certain asanas. We'll get to those eventually, but we're really giving a lot of love to the spine, rotational, flexion, extension, all around. All right, now you're going to step your right foot in between the hands. So if you want to raise the leg up, great, or just bend the knee, swing the foot forward in between the hands. Lower your back knee down, come up, tall position here. Back foot knee, you're pressing down and try to move it forward. Front foot, okay, press down and pull it back. Take your arms out to the side, make fists, squeeze, and now turn your chest to the right towards the front leg. Okay, then lower the back arm down, top arm up, release the fingers. You can catch your thigh, reach for the calf, crawl your fingertips to that back heel. Front foot push down, pull back. Keep engaged with that front leg. Top arm up, reaching back. And then come up, turn to face forward. Swing your back shin in. So more like a Padikasana, but modify with the knee bent. Okay, so you can have the toes tucked or foot flat. Move your pelvis, bum forward. Keep pressing that front foot, pull it in towards the shin in towards the foot, and then lunge in, push off. Lunge in, push off. Now, okay, set up your blocks. So one block, if you're going to use it, no blocks, you could do this without. So one is going to be behind, one is going to be forward. You can do this with leg bent. Okay, we're going to go back and forth like this, or leg straight. Okay, foot can be down or up. I'm going to keep mine up. Keep the heel of the straight leg or bent leg pulling in towards the back shin in towards the front leg. Bum goes forward. Swing the arms up, lift your chest. Then Padikasana, movement. Right hand comes down to the floor or the block, top arm reaching over, chin away from chest, look towards your top hand, and then go up and back, opposite side. See if you can revolve your waist, chest, and head. So there's a back bend feeling, reaching with the top arm back. Turn to face forward, push up. Okay, now we're going to do it again, but this time, instead of coming up, you're going to go forward through flexion. Flexion means rounding your back. So sit as if you're going to sit towards that back heel, round yourself, come around, and then open yourself. Pelvis forward, pelvis in, chest turning, head turning, arm back. And then spiral. Go forward, down, go around. One more time, then we're finishing up. And then bring yourself up, bend the front knee, find this block, make it fun for yourself. Get the block behind you instead of in front, yeah? And swing the back shin in, straighten the back leg, plank pose, downward dog. Reset here through the breath, long breath in, long breath out, downward facing dog. All right, let's do that run on the opposite side, okay? So left leg's gonna go up, way up. Exhale, bend the knee, step the foot forward, back knee down, push up. So if you want to have a wider stride, that's another option. So you could be wide here too, okay, if that helps your balance. Okay? Otherwise, a little bit more narrower. Back foot and knee, press, but try to slide forward so you feel some length and stretch in your back hip flexor. Front foot press down, pull back behind you. Arms out to the side, curl your fingers, squeeze, then turn to the left. Lower your back arm down, top arm up, release the fingers. You can hold the thigh, calf, reach the fingertips towards the back heel. Front foot still presses down and pull back towards you. Lift through the chest. Then come up, circle around and swing that back shin in. Bring the shin towards the foot towards the shin, and then lunge a little deeper. And then come up. Bend in a little more. Then come up. Now we're going to do our Parigasana, side to side. So if you want to keep the leg bent, great. Okay. Otherwise, one block behind, one block in front, straighten out the leg. The straight leg heel pulls back towards the shin, shin towards the heel. Arms up, lift the chest. Side bend over the straight leg, hand down to block, top arm over. Look towards your top hand. It gives more of a back bending feeling when you turn your gaze. Turn your head, and then swing up around opposite side. You can also raise the block up a different height. And now turn your waist chest. So first move your bum in, tailbone in, revolve the trunk, chest, and head. Take that arm way back. Look towards your hands in space if it's okay with your neck. And look forward, push off the bottom arm, come up. Okay. Now we're going to flex. Different way to transition. Flex means rounding. You can even bring the palms into namaste if you want. Okay, joining and then opening up through the heart, chest, head, everything opens up. Then closing, you can join the palms. I know we didn't do it on the other side, but we keep it novel, we keep it interesting. It doesn't have to match. It's just a subtle variation. Did we do it 3 times already? I forget. So do it once more if you loved it. Otherwise, come on up, okay? Bend that leg. Move the block to the other side. You could bring it in front of you, but make it interesting. Bring it behind you. And then leg back, downward dog. Collect yourself, reset here. Long breath in, long breath out. Upward dog. So any version of upward dog you like. Okay, top of the feet, toes tucked, shoulders back and down, lift through the chest. Open up through this chest, up, shoulders away from ears. Look up if you can. Push, lift, come on back, downward dog. All right, let's continue with these standing poses where the leg is out wide. So right leg goes up, bend the knee, take the foot outside. Okay. Then maybe you want to raise the blocks up. Okay, why? So you can straighten the front leg and then bend the front leg, bend the back knee, come down. Maybe you want to do this on the floor. All good. Okay, I'm just making it more accessible. So there's a little rocking motion on the ankles, feet, knees, and coming down. Okay. I'm gonna lower my blocks down to their flat setting. My back heel is lifted. Okay. I'm taking the right arm up, turning the chest, taking the arm behind, and then circle the arm through. Okay. Externally rotate the arm and reach towards that back ankle. And then come up, circling through. So it's like an interesting parivrita, trikonasana, with the arm circling around. If you want to make it more interesting, bend the front knee as you reach back. And then straighten the leg as you reach up. Want to make it more interesting? Bend the front knee as you reach back. More interesting meaning you're staying interested in what you're doing. Yeah? Like, wow, that's interesting. This is different. This is something familiar, yet something. So you can try both. Leg straight, leg bent, and then circle around. Come back through plank, move back through downward dog. So much love for the spine here, yeah? Moving, turning, bending, all different directions. Left leg comes up. Bend the knee, step the foot forward, outside, okay? Then you can raise the blocks up, see if that helps you. Straighten the leg, bend the knee or the back hip down, or back knee down, and then straighten. So I'm rocking on that front foot. You see the sole of the foot is up, then foot down, knee bent, back heel lifted. And now I'm gonna lower down on the blocks. You can also try on the floor, okay? So front foot is down, deep plantar flexion there. Back heel is lifted up. Okay. Left arm goes up, around, behind. Turn the chest, turn the arm in. Then take the arm around, circle. It's externally rotated arm, cutting through kind of like an X or that angle, reaching with the back foot. And circle through the X, up and back behind you. Up and around in front. Make it interesting by bending your front knee. Okay, if you want to bend the front arm too. We didn't do that before. You can try that. And then go up, behind, bend the front knee, reach the arm back. Then come up, cut the arm through, bending the front knee as an option. And then one last time, bending the front knee, take the arm back, head back, and over, back, plank, Adho Mukha, downward facing. Big breath in, big breath out. We'll come back to the ground in a little bit. Bend your knees, step or jump, top of the mat, light jump, quiet walk. Uttanasana, now with feet together if it feels okay for you. Spread through the toes, press through the heels down, lift the kneecaps up into the quadricep. So knees pull up off the shins, chest and head down. Now coming up with straight legs. So hands to the hips, keep the knees lifted, lift your chest and head up, press the heels down, come on up. Tadasana, collect yourself, compose yourself, standing upright. Big breath in, smooth, big breath out. Okay, a couple upright positions, standing upright. So all of us have done Trikonasana before. Okay, if you want to keep your blanket in the middle, you can. You don't have to have it. So we're going to do Trikonasana, but kind of in an interesting way. You only need one block for this. So the block is going to go on the back side of the mat. So you know Trikonasana, we do heel to arch alignment like this, yeah? But for today, you're going to bring your right foot forward, okay, toward the front edge of the mat, left leg back. So a diagonal stance here. It's a really nice way to get the tailbone in, get the leg externally rotated, and get the chest open. It'll have a back bending feeling. So situate yourself like this. Okay? If you wanted to jump, which is interesting, you could jump diagonal out, yeah, instead of the regular jump out, yeah. So inner edge of the front foot is pressing, back heel is pressing down. Take the arms wide, lift your chest, lift the knees up, legs straight, and now coming into Trikonasana, hand behind. So instead of close to the ankle, move it back, top arm back, opening up the chest. Turn your neck and head, look toward your top hand, move the top arm further back without hurting the shoulder. You could have it aligned directly up, but for today, chest opening, heart opening, take it further back. And bring the arm forward, over, across. Turn the back of the arm, externally rotate, turn towards your back leg, or towards that back hand, I should say. And then come back, circle, open up. And now coming out, press your back heel down, pull up. You won't be squared when you turn your feet forward. You're going to be like this. So just situate yourself back, center of the mat. Now, opposite side, you can use the block here. Stepping this forward, this leg back. If you want to make it interesting, you could jump forward and back. So instead of just wide out, it's kind of a, kind of a wide and weird jump. Weird is cool in this sense, yeah. As long as your knees and ankles say yes. So inner edge of the foot pressing down, back heel driving down, kneecaps up. Tailbone is already in, but try to lift your pubic bone slightly up more. Okay. Take the arms wide, spread your chest. Big breath in, exhale. Left hand coming down, find your block. Top arm coming up. Chest and head moving back. Arm moving back. Turn to look up towards your top hand. Add a little circle, so bring the top arm down. Externally rotate, try to reach towards that back arm, back hand. Open up. Keep pressing with the back heel, back leg straight, front leg straight. Push off with the bottom hand, reach with the top arm. Inhale, come on up. Feet forward, zigzag heel toe, or step back together. So one element I didn't add, I thought about it, but I didn't do it. We can just do it really quick. So when we do this position to the Trikonasana, you can bend and straighten. So you can just try it really quick, just wide. If you can go wider without slipping, okay, off the mat, okay, outside the box, you can try this wide Paschimottanasana and then open up Trikonasana. Wide, open up. So with the wide Paschimottanasana, let the chest come forward. As opposed to opening the chest, let the chest come forward. Think more hip flexion, knee flexion, and then open up. And open up. And then come up. We're just kind of going through it. So keep this, some of it's just playful material for you to have for your practice, okay? So it doesn't have to be such a thing that everything is super interconnected, linked. It's just, we're just going through it. Hopefully some fun material for you to keep in your practice, explore it, experiment with it, expand with it, okay? And explore in it, yeah? So here we go. So Trikonasana. First you can do Paschimottanasana, regular style, meaning you're opening the chest, okay? So just something more familiar. Then Trikonasana. And then Paschimottanasana, where you go forward, almost like you're going towards a Parivrita Paschimottanasana. And then come up. I'm just really into this spiraling of the chest, the spine, to get into that back bending feeling. And then push with the bottom hand to the top, come up. All right, now maybe you take a pause, just watch, breathe, because the next position is similar, but through dog pose, okay? So let me just show what that's gonna look like. So let me maybe turn my mat this way. So I'm gonna bring the leg forward with the knee bent and then cut it out, okay? Cut it out, out to the side. Then watch my back foot. I turn, it's an even deeper Trikonasana like this. Then I come back, there's a chest turning. Only do this if it feels good for your spine and lower back. Leg crossed, upward dog. Then lift up, bend the knee, rotate. I'm going to show quickly on the other side. Come forward, kick the leg out. Back foot, I roll down. Come up, reaching through the inner foot, reaching up like this. Then coming down, turning from waist and chest, upward dog. If you can come a little lower, feel free. Some of you might be able to do Chaturanga like this, yeah? Just be careful how it feels on shoulders and pelvis, okay? Careful meaning nothing more than being full of care, okay? When I say careful, it just means be full of care. If you rather opt out of that because it's too funky, too, out of your scope for your body, then you can repeat any of the movements we've done so far, okay? You can Do wide Trikonasana again, okay? You can hold dog pose a little bit longer and go through your knee bent upward dog and come back. We'll just go through it not too long, okay? Otherwise, join me, downward dog, feet together. Bend the right knee thigh to chest, then come forward with a knee bent lunge position or a plank position. Then kick that right foot out. Turn on your back foot so that back heel can come down. Take your left hand to your hip, turn the chest, push with the bottom arm, and take your top arm up. Reach with that front foot if you can, the inner edge of the foot, turning the chest. Top arm circles down, lift your back heel, point the toes forward, walk that right foot further out, lower that right hip down, upward dog with the legs crossed. Then lift up, bend the knee, rotate, come back, downward dog. Bend the left knee thigh to chest. Come forward. Rotate, so you're on the inner edge of that back foot. Kick the leg out. Okay. Push with the left hand. Those shoulder movements we did. Push the shoulder away from the ear. Take your right hand to hip, or you can swing it out and up if you're ready. The front foot, can you reach to the inner edge of the foot? Down. Open up through the chest. Sometimes people call this a falling star pose, yeah? You can think of it like that. Or is it fallen angel? I forget. Falling star, I call it cubist Trikonasana. Picasso style Trikonasana. Top arm down, hand down. Lift your back heel, point the toes forward. Walk that front foot further out. Okay, if you want to add a chaturanga, so as long as your elbows say okay, shoulders say okay, and then straighten the arms, keeping the hips down, twisting back bend. Then lift up with the hip, bend the knee, come back, move back, downward dog. Big breath in, take the feet wider, thighs back, lift your heels up, buttocks up. And now, take the blocks forward, bend the knees. Okay, so do with me or watch if you'd like to see. We're going to do a little bit of a Padmasana-like position. Okay, so first, if you don't want to do that, you can bring right foot behind the knee. So there's some external rotation, but hopefully that's not too difficult. You'll take the blocks to walk yourself up, come up, pelvis forward, then use one of the blocks. We're doing our back bend like this. Okay, so it's kind of like an Ustrasana, but with the leg crossed. Otherwise, okay, if you're able to, okay, so I'm going to turn my right leg out again, but I'm going to straighten the left leg, then bring the right foot forward, knee down, hook that back knee against that front ankle, so it's more like Padmasana leg in the front, then use the blocks to bring myself up. If you're familiar with this one pose, Gorakasana, the cow herds pose, it's similar, but that one's even funkier. You're in full Padmasana. This is with the foot on the bottom of the thigh. Hold this for a little bit. Feel this nice opening in your hip flexor, externally rotated, buttocks forward, buttocks in. Now, to spiral around, okay, some of you can maybe just reach the heel like this. Take the arm back, up, over, opening the chest. Otherwise, take the block behind anywhere you like, okay, and then circle the arm around. And if the block feels too high, you can lower the block down, or you're holding the heel. And circle yourself around. Go the other way, okay? So maybe you can reach for the heel already, opposite arm reaches, press the thigh into the ankle into the thigh, or take the block there behind, anywhere you like, opening the chest, follow your gaze with your hand. Come around. Whew. Now to come out, okay, straighten the plank-like position, circle that shin back around, swing it around, and then come back to downward dog. So back bending experience, full body, shoulders, spine, chest, hips, and legs, yeah? So I'll show again. If you're ready to go where we did before, go for it. Otherwise, you can just bring the foot behind the knee. Okay? You don't have to do full Padmasana-like position. Okay? You can do like that. Otherwise, you straighten the right leg, bring the foot, you have to lift the foot up, walk it forward, knee forward, then hook that knee thigh against the ankle foot, Walk your hands, blocks back, lift the chest. Just allow for a few moments to let that externally rotated leg open up the hips there. Buttocks down, buttocks in. You could also just hold this position. Right? You don't have to do the twisting back bend. You could just do like this, arms up. If you're ready, take the one arm, left hand I'm taking behind, finding that back heel, or use a block anywhere you like. Right arm circles around, open through the chest. Look up toward your back hand. Up, circle around. Opposite side we go. If you can just reach for the heel, go for it, or use the block, support yourself. Opposite arm circles around, open through the chest. You could do this in rhythmic movements, back and forth, back and forth. If you like it, keep doing it. I'm going to move on for the sake of time. And then straighten your back leg, swing the shin in, come back. Because I'd like to honor your time. I did say it was an hour and a half class, but I'm going to get excited. You guys are doing great in the practice. I can see in the gallery view, yeah, looking really good. So I'm like, we can do more, make it funkier, make it funner. We can do more, yeah. But I want to start to get into a few more back bends and then wind down. Okay. Take a wide-legged dog pose, toes in, heels out position. Then knees down, tuck the toes, and then if you can come through a malasana or just come up to stand, whatever is easiest to stand up, you can come from uttanasana, but if you can come from malasana, utkatasana, urdhva come down. Okay. Everyone doing okay so far? Yes? Okay. So we're going to stand up and do our rotation of the spine again, but this time with the legs a little wider, not as wide as like Trikonasana, but a little wider than your hips width, okay? If you want to make it more interesting, I keep saying that, right? More interesting. So you're not bored. You can take a block, foam, or cork, not too heavy, at the center of your chest. We're going to do our upper back rotation. If you don't have the block, you just give yourself a hug again, okay? We're going to do that rotation through the upper back. But think about the rest of the body right now, okay? Not moving. So from waist, hips, legs, firm up, okay? So if you want to make it interesting, take the block, center of the chest, drive your heels down, lift the kneecaps up, squeeze the bum, so a little clenching of the buttocks, so legs are firm. Think of yourself as a statue from waist down, and above the waist, we're going to flex down, squeeze the block in, turn to your right, keep pressing through the feet as you side bend, go through a back bend, over to the side, one more round, same direction. Keep those feet pressing down, circling around, keep breathing. And then come on up, switch the cross of the arm. As you press the feet down, try to screw them into the ground. So you feel the feet are driving to the ground. Lift the kneecaps, squeeze the buttocks, legs firm. Inhale, exhale, rounding the upper back. Turn to your left. Squeeze that block in. Back bend. Turn to the, or opposite side. I'm sorry if I said left, whatever is your opposite. Maybe I'm not mirroring you anymore. So 2 rounds, steady, slow speed. Articulating each degree of thoracic spine rotation. All right, so for the back bends that I had been practicing, first, everyone can do any version of Ustrasana, okay? So what I'll show is with a bolster. I know I didn't say this before to have, but I'll just show that if you're not gonna do the twisting back bends, Ustrasana with a turn, you can do Ustrasana, okay? Like such, press down, arch back, lift the chest, and then come down. Also Ustrasana towards the heels. You could still try a little bit of twisting Ustrasana like this. So I'm just showing quickly if you want to do with the bolster, or sometimes on the soles of the feet, if you can push down, lift up, arch your back, sit back down, okay? So that's an option for if you're choosing to do with bolster. Okay. Let's do first Ustrasana with the bolster if you're doing it. Otherwise, tops of the feet down, shins down. So tall kneeling position. I believe in Sanskrit, Stamphasana. This one is called Stamphasana. Tall kneeling. So buttocks in, squeeze the bum, take the hands to the top buttocks, move the buttocks down, lift the front of your pubic bone up and start to arch upper back. If it's okay to move the chin away from the chest, look up, spread through the chest, squeeze through the bottom bum, and lift up. What is bottom bum? When I'm saying squeeze through the bottom bum, I'm talking about where the buttocks ends and hamstring meet, squeeze that part. If you're still not familiar with what that is, try to lift one of your shins up. Woo, hello hamstring, bottom bum. Yeah, down. If you get a cramp doing that, just straighten out, okay? Try that with the other leg real quick. So when the foot heel lifts up, not a whole lot needed, move your buttocks in. Woo, and then come down, okay? If it cramps, it's just a neurological confusion from brain to muscle. It's normal, yeah? We're so much into, straightening our legs. We meaning all of us, me too. Yeah, we like to straighten, strengthen, strengthen, or I should say lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. But also spend some time, if not equal amount of time, strengthening, especially these active stretches. Like, look how easy it is for me to bring my heel to the bum, yeah? Because it's a passive support with the hand. But then can I keep that from the contraction of buttocks and hamstring as I let go? Whoo, and keep it close to the bum, coming down. Okay? Try that on the other side. Same thing, if it's too much Jasmine kneeling, yeah, you can do it on the ground too. It would be similar, like this. Try to keep it close, close, close. Oof. And when you let go, it's the same idea. Okay, so here we go. Opposite leg you're catching. This is just our prep for the Ustrasana that's to come. We're going to do a few more Ustrasanas. When you're holding the foot ankle to the bum, move your bum forward before you detach the hand from the foot. Hold, hold, hold. Coming down. Do a quick dog or Uttanasana. Okay. We took a little detour from our Ustrasana because I said something that was particular. I said the bottom bum. And I was like, well, what is the bottom bum? I was talking about this part, hamstring, where the buttocks meet. Okay. So next Ustrasana. Okay, we're going to take the hands down to the feet. You can have blocks there if the feet is too much to reach. Shins pressed down, slide the shins in, buttocks in, squeeze, contract that back hamstring bottom bum region, arch your back. Take the hand either to the block or towards your calf, towards the ankles, towards the feet. Squeeze that bottom bum hamstring, lift the chest, spread the chest, release the neck and head. Open your heart chakra, maybe with a smile. Tuck the chin, okay. Hands to your hips, push, lift up. Now sitting down, okay, in Vajrasana with the buttocks between the heels. If you need to sit on a bolster or on a block, you go for it, okay. Now push with the shins down, shins, tops of the feet down, and lift your hips up, then slide the hips forward. So now we're getting into the quads, yeah? Move back the same way. Back, hover, slowly, down, down, down. If this is too much, Jasmine, on the knees, try Chatushpadasana instead, okay? You can do this version. It's similar to Ustrasana, and you can do many versions like this, and you can even do twisting version like this if it's too much on the knees, okay? All right, otherwise, we're gonna lift up, hands on the heels or palms on the soles of the feet, your choice, or blocks, okay? I'm giving lots of options because different ranges of practitioners and levels in the group, yeah? So if you can push down, lift, hover the bum, buttocks up, then squeeze that bottom bum in, move your hips forward, arch your back, lift the chest, open your heart chakra, and chin away from the chest. Head resting in the nape of the neck. Tuck the chin, move back, keep the bum tucked in as you lower down. Now adding a twist, okay? So I'm gonna start with the palms in Namaskar position, then a twist. Okay, so hand goes back to the sole of the foot or to a block. Then I push, lift up, buttocks goes forward, and I circle through the arm around, chest and head around, follow your hand, and then come back, flexion, meaning you round, come down where we started. So we're opening the heart, okay? Opening and then joining, closing, opening, okay? So left hand goes back, sole of the foot, right hand goes forward, buttocks up, arm out, circle the arm around, up and around, follow your hand. You can take it as far back as you like, as it feels good. Then come back, bend, sit, join. We're going to keep going, okay? So if you like to do a wind down, because we're down to maybe 7-8 minutes, I'll do a little bit of Setu Bandha or legs up the wall to finish up our practice. If you want to make it more interesting, okay, I keep saying that, don't I? Make it more interesting, as if this wasn't interesting enough. So you can keep going like this, okay? And if it feels comfortable, tapping the hand around, coming back down, okay? So I'm circling. So as long as the shoulder back says yes, circle around, come back down. That's one way. Keep on going. You don't have to wait for me. Or you can do with the toes tucked under, cross, opposite foot. Okay, so opposite hand, opposite foot, and then circle around, come back, join in Namaskar, opposite hand, opposite foot. So make whichever round you like. Or maybe you're just doing regular Ustrasanas, like perfectly fine doing the classic version over and over again. Maybe you're just doing regular Ustrasana. Give yourself 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? Or Chatushpadasana, even Dhanurasana. Some of those versions are similar, yeah? Otherwise, I'm going to do one more round. I'm going to make it even funkier on the tops of the feet, opposite hand, opposite foot. Reach up, go back. Hello, world upside down. Opening my heart for you. Come back around. So opposite hand, opposite foot. Lift through the hips. Buttocks in. Squeeze the hamstring buttocks, reaching for the back bend. Come back around. Woo! And now, to take care of the back, you can do Prasarita Padottanasana, head down, or if you have, okay, there's so much more we could do, yeah, but I want to wind down. If you have a bolster, do Upavistha. I'll show with a bolster or with blocks, okay? So I'm just choosing to sit on the blanket. You don't have to if you're comfortable on the ground, all good. So sit in Upavistha. Okay. If you can bring the bolster right up to the pubic bone, and to kind of, without hurting yourself, kind of press it in, and then lay as much of your abdomen down, forward, over the bolster, that should feel good for your back, okay? Otherwise, Prasarita Padottanasana also. If you don't have bolster, one block, long on its second height, right at to pubic bone region. Other block for head. When I say press it, just be mindful, but I am pressing it into the pubic bone, pelvis, abdomen resting on the block, head resting on the block, and you can hold your feet or arms bent any which way. In fact, I'm just going to stick to this. It feels pretty good. So before the legs were active in some of our poses, let the legs be extended but not super engaged or active. Okay, just allow for the exhale to bring a sense of release, rest, and quiet in the back body. Push with the hands down, lift your chest and head up. Now, we're going to do Marichyasana, wide version. So bend the left knee, the left heel in, arm inside leg, arm behind, lift the chest and turn your chest to the right. Shoulders down, chest up. And then either you're just going to go forward like this, or a Trianga Mukha. If your knee can come down, flip on top of the foot. Okay? If there's a blanket in the way, you can adjust it for the right buttock bone or just move it off. Then go forward. Okay? If this bothers the knee, okay, so you have an option to do Janu Shirshasana, support with a blanket like this, or just take the leg wide, okay, and just go forward over this right leg. Okay? But if you're doing Trianga Mukha, reach forward. If you can make a clasp, so the leg that's bent, if I'm mirroring you, it's my left leg. I'm holding the left wrist, chest and head down. Then come up, do a twist to your bent leg side, upright turning. Do a twist to your straight leg side. And then as we fold it, unfold, so hold the shin from the Marichyasana, hold behind the knee, Upavistha, give yourself Upavistha in between. And hold behind the right knee, bring the leg in, heel to the bum, arm inside, arm behind, hand behind, lifting the chest, turning the chest towards the straight leg. So you can stay here and just reach forward. But if it bothers the knee at all, you can just take this leg and make it creative and interesting so the leg, knee is not bothered. You go forward. Okay. Otherwise, you let that knee fall down, no pain in the knee. Flip onto the top of the foot side. Adjust the blanket so it's underneath, if you're using it, underneath the straight leg buttock bone. Reach forward, catch. So the leg that's bent, that's the wrist you're catching. Chest and head down, head towards the shin for Trianga Mukha Ekapada Paschimottanasana. And then coming up, you can stay longer if it was feeling good, of course. Otherwise, come up, turn towards the bent leg, and turn towards the straight leg. My timer. Upright twists, one to the side, and then unfold yourself, bring the leg back, extend out. Okay. Then Sukhasana or Swastikasana, cross the legs. Okay. Adjustment for the knees, if this is bothersome, just rest on your back now. You can do like this, okay? Hold the inner feet, outer feet, any amount you can bend, okay? Otherwise, cross the legs. You can have a block handy for the head, or maybe you don't need, but walk, 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 hands forward, reach, reach, reach forward, chest and head down. Just a few moments here to bring relief and release to the lower back, outer hips. And then come up, switch the cross of the leg, opposite leg, shin in front. If you can bring the feet underneath the knees more, you're going to feel it a little more in your outer hips, buttocks. Then go forward, down, chest and head down. And then time to come up and rest in any position. So I'm going to suggest some version of either legs up the wall, Viparita Krani, that can feel nice for your back. If you think a halasana position could feel good, you could do it. Or, this, I don't know if you've done this version or not, but a tipped version of Setu Bandha. What does tipped mean? Is that I have the blanket, in fact, like this. Okay? So it's just folded in half. Then I'm going to have my sacrum, okay, on a tipped block. Okay, so I can just show that real quick, only if that feels good. Maybe this is actually, you don't even need to fold the blanket. So as long as there's a tip, there we go. Even that will be enough. Okay. Sometimes for me, I just like to have more angle of the sacrum. Okay. Otherwise, legs up the wall, Viparita Kani, Halasana, some version, all good. Or maybe you just do bridge pose with a blanket underneath the hips, all good. Yeah. So I'm situating the block tall, angled against sacrum buttock. So the tailbone feels like it's sliding in. Press the backs of the arms, open up the chest, keeping the knees bent, or the legs can extend out. I'm going to keep the knees bent. It feels a little bit more soothing. Okay. You can also have option to put the legs up on a chair if you wanted to do that. Just a few moments to bring some quiet through the mind, through the body, through the breath. If there's any other movements you feel you'd like to do as we end our practice, something that your body's intuitively asking you to do, feel free to invite that here. And stay in the tall brick version, or you can lower the brick flat and wide, so baby bridge pose. Then maybe option to have the legs extend. Then for final rest Shavasana, if you have that blanket, roll it up a little bit. So just fold it up again. Doesn't have to be a perfect roll. Hug it up towards your bottom the buttock bones right at the back of the legs there. And then let the thighs rest over the blanket there. Take the hands behind your buttocks. Move the buttocks flesh away. Give a little tuck so the backs of the thighs are supported. Take your hands behind your neck, lift your head, and give yourself a little massage of the neck, stroking your fingers up to the base of the skull. Keep stroking the fingers up to the crown of the head. Head comes down, rest the head. Curl your fingers so it's your knuckles massaging around the side of your forehead, down the temples, down the jawline, through the cheeks to the chin. Rest your hands over your chest. Just connect with your heart, your diaphragm, your lungs. And then detach the hands away. Let the palms face the ceiling. Beginning to let go, let loose. Corpse pose, Shavasana. I'll share something nice from Rumi, the Book of Love, to end our Shavasana here. So this is from Rumi's The Book of Love book. This one's titled No Better Gift. When the ocean comes to you as a lover, marry at once, quickly, for God's sake. Don't postpone it. Existence has no better gift. No amount of searching will find this. A perfect falcon, for no reason, has landed on your shoulder and become yours. This moment, this love, comes to rest in me. Many beings in one being. In one wheat grain, 1,000 sheep stack. Inside the needle's eye, a turning night of stars. The clear bead at the center changes everything. There are no edges to my loving now. You've heard it said there's a window that opens from one mind to another. But if there's no walls, there's no need for fitting the window or the latch. 1,000 half loves must be forsaken to take one whole heart home. No better gift. So rest here, rest with your heart within. Stay rested, stay relaxed, face quiet, mind quiet. Place one hand on your abdomen, other on your chest or heart region. Just connect with your breathing, connect with your heartbeat. Take a soft, long breath in through your nose, filling up your lungs all the way to the top, beyond the heart space, top of the chest full. Maximum breath in, pause and hold. And exhale, long exhale, release it all out. Do it again. Inhale, soft and steady, soothing breath, filling up your lungs from the bottom to the top. Maximum breath you can fill into the lungs, diaphragm open, chest open, pause and hold. This time, part the lips slightly, breathe out through the mouth, exhale. Lips closed, breathe in through the nose. Inhale, soft and steady, smooth and easy. Think about the breath filling up from your toes all the way up to your head. Whole body full of breath. Pause when you get to the top. Pause and hold. And keeping the mouth closed, breathe out through the nose. Exhale, exhale, exhale. All the air out, down through the diaphragm, legs through the toes. Bring your arms out to the side, overhead like a yawning stretch. Stretch the arms and legs away. Breath in, breath out. Bend the knees, walk the feet back. Any props in the way, move them out of the way. Choose one side to turn your head, rest towards, folding in towards your heart. Push the ground away, come up, slowly lifting yourself back up. Sit in any position that's comfortable for you. Bring your palms together, greet yourself at the end of practice. Compose yourself, collect yourself within, at the heart center. So off the mat and into your day, the day's activities and interactions there's within. You can stay composed, collected from a place of love. Act and feel from a place of love within. Bow your head, tuck your chin, and release the hands to the lap. Lift your face, open your eyes. All right, friends of the heart, thank you so much for your time and joining. I had a lot of fun. I know we went over time a little bit, yeah, but we were chatting in the beginning too. So I hope you're feeling open, radiating through your heart space. I know I feel much better for whatever reason than earlier today, this morning. It's just that kind of a morning. And now I feel it's not that kind of day anymore. Amazing what practice can do, movement can do, asanas, mobility, breath, and staying, connected within. So if you have any questions, comments, curiosities about the practice we did, feel free to chime in. I'll wait to end the recording. I'll post it up on a private link. I'm happy to share that with you. If you don't have my email already, I think most of you have my online contact, but you can email me and I'll send that link out to you. So you can save it for a future practice. Even if you want to have some segments of the practice, you want to use that as a material to play with, make it your playground, explore, experiment, and evolve in your practice, yeah? So thank you, Jasmine, Julia, Jacqueline, Barb, Elda, Elliot, and all the folks who are watching on demand later, Thank you for joining. Thank you for playing, participating. Wishing you a beautiful day, evening, great week ahead, okay? And looking forward to connecting with you sometime soon, in the near future, okay? Take good care. Bye-bye. Be well. Take care of yourself. Thank you. The pause on the recording now. Great. Recording is done. Everyone okay? Okay, great. Barb, first class since the break. Wow, I'm happy to hear that. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. Thank you, Elda. Yeah, appreciate that. Jacqueline, Jasmine, Julia, enjoy your Tuesday. Yeah, and we'll enjoy the rest of our Monday. Awesome. Thank you, Julia. That means a lot. I appreciate it. Thank you all so much for joining. Wishing you a beautiful, blessed day ahead. Take good care. Be well. Take good care. Bye bye.